Welcome to the Live Free, Love Life podcast, where we discuss how to create more freedom so we can love our lives no matter what we're going through. Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome to today's podcast episode of the Live Free, Love Life podcast. Today, we are going to do our third book in our book series. As I told you, we're probably going to do this about once a month. And for my third book, I was thinking, I did write a really awesome book. And I haven't really told my people about it, even though I wrote it quite a while ago. So that's what we're doing today. This is a book I wrote. It is called Unblended, Your Essential Guide to a Successful Blended Family. And now some of you might be thinking, Mindy, I'm not part of a blended family. Should I actually keep listening? And the answer is absolutely. The principles and tools I share in Unblended are not just for blended families. They are universal lessons that can transform any relationship in your life. Whether you're navigating friendships, work relationships, or even your relationship with yourself, the concepts of embracing individuality, letting go of expectations, and mastering your thoughts are game changers. Plus, with blended families becoming increasingly common, chances are you know someone who is part of one. By understanding their journey, you'll be better equipped to offer support and empathy. So stick around. I promise you'll gain insights that can improve every aspect of your life, blended family or not. Now, this book review is a bit different because I wrote the book. And obviously, I think every part of it is amazing. And as I was writing this, I found myself just wanting to retype the entire book. It was really hard to just, boil it down to just a few things, which is really easy to do when I'm the one reading someone else's book. And obviously, that's not super helpful if I just redo the whole book here. This would be a very, very long podcast. So I asked AI to write a review for me. And then I took the key things that the AI chose from the book and I, expounded upon them. And then I took the difference. I asked it, like, what are the differences between this and another book for blended families? And I used all of those too. So I did get an objective point of view for this review. And then I just expanded on it because I know everything about the topic, literally. So the first key theme that the AI chose in this book is the counterintuitive approach. It said, the title Unblended itself is a clue to the book's unique perspective. Instead of trying to force two families to become one seamless unit, the author encourages embracing the differences and individual identities within the blended family. It's a refreshing take that challenges the conventional wisdom about how blended families should function. So let's talk about the blending backfire. So I want you to picture this. You have this beautiful hamburger, like the best hamburger you have ever eaten at your very favorite hamburger restaurant. It's like the most delicious hamburger ever. And then you've got these crispy golden French fries. Again, from your very favorite, like your favorite fries from your favorite restaurant. Now, I want you to imagine taking these two things, the hamburger and the fries, and you're going to toss them into a blender and hit start. And then you get to drink that. Is that appetizing? Yeah, not so much, right? That is what we're doing when we try to force our families to blend. Because here's the thing, blending, it sounds pretty, right? We think it'll unite us. We think it will make us one big happy family. But here's the kicker, it often backfires. Why? Because we're using force. Blenders are very forceful. If you watch what happens in that blender, it's using a lot of force. And let me tell you, there are not many things that go well in life when they're forced because us humans, we don't like to be forced. And when we try to blend, we often end up creating the exact opposite of what we want. We push for togetherness, but it drives us apart. We insist on shared traditions, but it builds resentment. We demand equal treatment, but it highlights the differences. So what is the alternative? That is where Unblended comes in. Instead of forcing a blend, we embrace our separateness. We acknowledge that we are two distinct families coming together, each with its own history, traditions, and dynamics. Think of it like this. Your family is a beautiful, complete circle, and your partner's family is another beautiful, complete circle. And when you come together, you're not trying to mush those circles into one big blob. Instead, you're creating a Venn diagram with a better together section in the middle. This approach allows each family unit to maintain its identity while also creating space for something new and beautiful to emerge organically. It's not about erasing what came before, it's about honoring it and building upon it. All right. Key theme number 2 that AI picked out for me is the power of mindset shift. One of the core principles I explore in Unblended is the power of your thoughts. You see, it is not our circumstances that create our results. It is our thoughts about those circumstances. You've probably heard me say this 1,000 times. Let me give you an example from my own life. When I first got remarried, I had all these expectations about how our blended family should look. And every time reality didn't match up with my expectations, which was almost always, I felt frustrated and discouraged. But here's the game changer. I realized, after doing all this work that I teach to you, that my thoughts were creating my experience, not the actual events, not the people in my family, not the things that they were doing or not doing. When I changed my thoughts, everything shifted. My blended family, if you're just looking externally at the outside, at the people and the behavior and the things that happen, what our exes do, what they don't do, what my husband does, what my stepkids do, all of that, it's pretty much the same as when I started. But my experience is entirely different. I was in so much pain before. I was frustrated all of the time. And now all those people are doing all the same things. And I'm just not. I feel great. I am so happy in my blended family. And the only thing I changed was my own thoughts. I didn't have to change all of the other people. And one of those primary thoughts that I had to change is this isn't what it should look like. This isn't how a family should be. That was one of my most painful thoughts that I had to change before the dynamic could change, my experience could change. My shift in thinking did not change my circumstances, but it completely transformed my experience of those circumstances. And it lifted such a weight off of my shoulders, and it allowed me to enjoy my marriage and my family in ways that were completely impossible before. Okay, key theme number 3, individual empowerment and responsibility. Here's what the AI said. One of the most empowering aspects of Unblended is its focus on personal responsibility. Rather than trying to change other family members or waiting for circumstances to improve, the book encourages readers to take charge of their own happiness and fulfillment. This theme is particularly evident in the discussion of the manual. So I thought, well, then let's tell them about the manual. The manual, it's like a rule book that we carry around in our heads about how everyone should behave. And the problem with that is, 1, nobody else has a copy of our manual. And 2, we're the ones that wrote it, and that doesn't mean that they want to behave that way. So when we expect our partner or our stepkids or our exes to follow a manual that they've never seen and that we wrote instead of them, we are setting ourselves up for disappointment. So instead, I encourage readers and all of you to throw out your manuals altogether. Now, this doesn't mean we don't have boundaries or standards. What it does mean is we stop expecting others to behave in specific ways so that we can feel better. We actually don't need them to behave any differently to feel better, because the way we feel is based on our thinking, not on what they are doing. We take responsibility for our own feelings and we let others be who they are. Okay? Key theme number 4, practical tools and strategies. Here's what the AI said. While Unblended is rich in conceptual insights, it doesn't stop there. The book is filled with practical tools and exercises that readers can immediately apply to their family situations. From using the model to work through challenging scenarios to strategies for creating a unique family culture, the book provides actionable steps for implementing its principles. Okay, in this book, there are 25 different tools, and there are lots of exercises. If you do all the exercises as you go through this book, you will not recognize your experience on the other end. Okay. So since the AI picked out the model, that's the one I'm going to share with you in this podcast. And I'm not actually sure if I've really walked you through the model yet. The model is the basic tool that I learned from Bert Castillo at the Life Coach School when I got certified as a life coach. And it is the primary tool that helped me start changing everything in my blended family. And it is one of the primary tools that I use in my coaching with all of my clients. It is the most powerful, it's one of the most powerful tools you can use. It's not the only. Like I said, I have 25 tools in this book. I also have more tools than that I use in all of my various coaching programs, but it is an extremely powerful tool. So let's talk about that. And maybe you'll want to go read the book, or maybe just start applying the model. Okay, so here's how it works. There are circumstances. These are the facts of the situation, things everyone in the world would agree on. Okay. And we have thoughts about circumstances. And those thoughts create feelings. All of our feelings are created by our thinking. It's not created by our circumstances. Okay. So there are circumstances in the world. These are just the facts. We have thoughts about the circumstances. Those thoughts create feelings. Our feelings drive all of our actions. And then our actions create all the results and outcomes in our life. Okay. So let's apply this to a common blended family scenario. Let's say the circumstance, the facts, is that your stepchild doesn't call you mom or dad if you are a dad listening. Okay. And maybe what you think about that is they don't see me as a real parent. And then maybe that thought has you feeling hurt. And then maybe when you feel hurt, you withdraw emotionally and you treat the child with coolness. And the result is that you don't show up as the parent that you want to be. And notice how that has nothing to do with them calling you mom or dad or not. It's because you're thinking, I'm just going to be really clear here. Thoughts create results. There are some lines in the middle, but thoughts create results. When you think they don't see me as a real parent, you don't show up as the parent you want to be, as the real parent, as like the ideal parent version of yourself. Okay. So here's the powerful part. When we change your thought, you can get a completely different result without changing the stepchild. Okay. So the circumstance is still the same. Your stepchild still doesn't call you mom or dad. This is the same. It's a fact. And maybe this time you think we're creating our own unique relationship. Okay. So your stepchild is saying you're just going to think something different about that. And then maybe when you think that, you feel content. And then maybe when you feel content, you engage with the child. You ask about their day. You show interest in their life. And then the result you create is you allow yourself to create an authentic relationship with your stepchild. Do you see how the circumstance is the same? You think something different. You create a totally different result for yourself. In Unblended, I guide readers through using the model in various blended family scenarios. It is a tool that you can use to help you see where you have control, which is your thoughts, and where you don't, your circumstances. You can't control whether they call you mom or dad or not. There's lots of things in blended families that we can't control, especially our exes, or especially what happens at our exes' houses. We have absolutely no control over that. But we do have control over what we think about it. And what we think about it is what creates our results or our experience of it. When you shift your perspective, you can free yourself, you can empower yourself. So I'm going to encourage you to try using the model with a challenging situation in your blended family. Write it out. CTFAR, circumstance, thought, feeling, action, result. When you're looking at actions, think about all the things you do and that you don't do, the things that are external, the things that are internal. And that will show you what result you're creating. And it's always going to tie back to your thinking. And if you want more help with this, we work on this all of the time in every single coaching program I offer. Like, doesn't matter what it is, we will work on it. You will also get a lot more reading the book. So go ahead and do that if you want to really learn how to use this in your life. This tool embodies the essence of the unblended approach. Instead of trying to change circumstances or other people, like making your stepchild call you mom or dad, you focus on changing the one thing you have complete control over, and that is you. When I am in these blended family or step family Facebook groups, everyone is trying to control all the other people, and we just can't do it. And we try and we try and we try. And if you're honest with yourself, you're going to realize that you've been trying over and over and over and over too. It doesn't work, but you have full control over you. And I promise you, it is enough. I promise you, you can change your entire experience, focus just on you, because I have done it and I have helped thousands of other people do it. By mastering your mind this way, you can navigate the complexities of a blended family life with more grace, resilience, and joy. And isn't that what we all want for our families? Okay, so here are the key differences with Unblended from other traditional blended family literature. If you are in a blended family, you've probably gone on Amazon, you've probably ordered some books, and they probably haven't been helpful. I know that because that was my experience. That's why I wrote this book. So here are some of the differences according to AI, which knows all of the things, right? Number one, there is a focus on thought work. Unlike many books that primarily focus on external strategies, Unblended emphasizes the power of managing our thoughts. It introduces tools that help readers understand how their thoughts create their results. Number two, embracing the 50-50. Many books aim to eliminate challenges or negative emotions. Unblended uniquely embraces the idea that life and family life is meant to be 50% positive, 50% negative, encouraging acceptance rather than resistance. Number 3, personal responsibility. While many books discuss how to change family dynamics, Unblended puts a strong emphasis on taking responsibility for your own happiness and fulfillment rather than trying to change others. Number 4, the manual concept. I guess the AI really liked this. The book introduces the idea of the manual, our expectations of how others should behave, and encourages readers to let go of these expectations, a unique approach in family literature. Number 5, unblended marriage. Many blended family books focus primarily on parent-child relationships. Unblended dedicates significant attention to the couple's relationship as the foundation of the family and gives practical strategies for working on your marriage. Number 6, creating unique family culture. Instead of trying to replicate a traditional family structure, Unblended encourages families to create their own unique culture and traditions. Number 7, agency-based coaching approach. This book applies the principles of agency-based coaching, which is the coaching that I use in my business, empowering readers to make their own choices rather than prescribing a one-size-fits-all solution. Again, if you are in these blended family Facebook groups, you know that people offer things and you're like, that's never going to work in my family. And when I read all these books, before I did all this work, I became a coach, all the things, like before I found something that actually worked, I read all these books too. And they would say things and I'm like, yeah, right. That is never going to work. There is a section about this in the book also, where I go over some of the common advice that is given from experts out in the field in these other blended family books, and how it just doesn't work for all people. It might work for some. It truly might. And that's what you'll see in the Facebook groups is like it did work for somebody, but you know it's not going to work for you. My approach to coaching is helping you. I help empower you to make choices, the ones that you know are best for you and your family, not just taking someone else's one size fits all approach, which it just doesn't work. Okay. Number 8, integration of faith where appropriate. While not exclusively faith-based, Unblended acknowledges the role of faith for those who find it relevant, which is not common in many secular family books. Number 9, author's personal experience. The book draws heavily on my own experience in a blended family, providing authentic insights and relatable examples. And number 10, practical application of life coaching principles. Unblended applies life coaching principles specifically to blended family situations, bridging personal development with family dynamics in a unique way. How fun. Okay, now here are some other key topics that I go over in the book that I want you to just kind of know what's in there that we haven't talked about already. Okay, the first is navigating step-parent challenges. Being a step-parent is no walk in the park. In the book, I dive deep into the unique challenges step-parents face and provide practical strategies for navigating them. I also address common issues like dealing with different parenting styles, handling loyalty conflicts, and finding your place in the family dynamic. Dealing with the X factor. Let's be real. Dealing with exes can be one of the trickiest parts of blended family life. In Unblended, I provide strategies for managing these relationships in a way that minimizes conflict and maximizes cooperation. And by saying that, I mean it minimizes your conflict because they can be doing whatever they're doing. That doesn't mean you have to have conflict. That is the beautiful part. Okay, creating your unblended family culture. One of my favorite parts of Unblended, after we go through all of the getting rid of all the limiting stuff, right? That's where we open up the possibility of creation. And it's creating the kind of family that you really want to have. We cannot do that as long as we are arguing with reality, wishing things were different, blaming the other people. Like you can't create what you want in that environment. So once we let go of all of that, we create a space for creation and you can start to really create what it is you want. This is where the magic happens. The next one is letting go of the past. Focusing on the past keeps you stuck. This book will show you how to let go of it so you can move forward into a glorious future. And then also your relationship with yourself. The better relationship you have with yourself, the better relationship you will have with everyone else in your life. When you love yourself and you talk kindly to yourself, that thing your stepdaughter said to you, it just doesn't have the same impact. So we really focus on building that foundation of your relationship with yourself. As always, here are some questions to consider. What expectations do you currently have for your blended family? How might letting go of these expectations change your experience? In what ways are you trying to force a blend in your family? What would it look like to embrace an unblended approach instead? How often do you find yourself referring to your manual for how others should behave? What would change if you threw that manual away? What unique elements could you incorporate into your family culture that celebrated your blended nature rather than trying to hide it? In what ways are you taking responsibility for your own happiness and fulfillment within your blended family dynamic? Think about a recent challenging situation in your blended family. Can you identify the circumstance, your thoughts, feelings, actions, and result? Meaning, can you build your own model? What alternative thoughts could you explore in that situation? How might those different thoughts lead to different feelings, actions, and results? Reflecting on your own parenting style, how does it differ from your partner's? How could these differences potentially complement each other rather than conflict? And what unique strengths does each member of your blended family bring to the table? How can you celebrate and leverage these individual strengths? And again, if you get the book, there are tons of questions like this, exercises to work through that will have you challenging what you're currently thinking and empowering you to think something different to create a different experience for yourself. Writing Unblended was a labor of love born out of my own experiences and the experiences of many of the families I've had the privilege of coaching. My hope is that this book serves as a guide and a source of encouragement for anyone navigating the beautiful, chaotic world of blended families. Remember, there is no one size fits all approach to family life. Your unblended family gets to be uniquely yours. Embrace the journey, let go of expectations, and focus on creating connections and joy in your own special way. The journey of blending families is full of challenges, but it's also rich with opportunities for growth, love, and connection. Using the tools I offer in this book and the unblended approach, we can transform our experience of family life. Remember, the goal isn't to create a perfect family or to avoid all conflict. The goal is to create a family dynamic where everyone feels valued, respected, and free to be themselves. It's about building connections while honoring individuality. Unblended is more than just a book. It is a roadmap to creating a family life that is uniquely yours. Whether you're just starting your blended family journey or you've been at it for years, I believe the principles and tools in this book can help you navigate the path with more ease and joy. If you are part of a blended family or you know someone who is, I truly believe Unblended will be a game changer. If I did not find the tools that I offer in this book, I for sure would be divorced right now. There is no way I would have made it through this blended family experience. And when I'm in those Facebook groups, I would say at least once a day, I see a post that says, I love my husband, but I just can't do it anymore. I cannot handle the blending, the stepkids, the exes, the whatever. They want to be married and they let go of their marriage because of all of the other things. This book, if you want to stay married, this book will not only help you to stay married, it will help you to thrive in that marriage and in that family, not just survive it. It is available now. I mean, it's been available for a while, but I would be honored if you would go check it out. And you just need to go to unblendedbook.com. So here's to creating families that are beautifully, perfectly unblended, because sometimes not blending is the secret ingredient to a recipe for family happiness. Here's to embracing the beautiful chaos of blended family life, letting go of shoulds and expectations, and creating a family dynamic that's perfectly, wonderfully unblended. Live free, love life. Thank you for watching this episode of Live Free, Love Life. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, comment, and share. See you next time.